Okay, let's unpack this.
Mm-hmm.
We are diving into, well, probably the oldest, most fundamental bit of tech humankind ever got its hands on. Fire. Specifically fire and controlled lighting way back in the Paleolithic.
Yeah, we're talking a vast stretch of time, like 2.6 million years ago, right up to about 10,000 years ago.
And our mission here really is to dig into how that technology, evolved.
Right, how the tech itself changed, but also what problems it actually solved for our ancestors. Big problem.
And the knock-on effects, right?
Yeah.
The impact on, well, everything. Human society, even our bodies.
Exactly, because the
Yeah.
stakes were incredibly high back then.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the Pleistocene night, total darkness, vulnerability.
Mm.
You've got things like cave lions out there.
And giant wolves, sometimes like 40% bigger than modern ones. It was serious danger.
So controlling fire wasn't just, oh, lovely, it's warm. It was like inventing the first home security system.
That's a great way to put it. The darkness problem was about survival, pure and simple. And just the basic limit of sunlight, especially inside caves.
Right, caves were dark, really dark, and probably smoky near the entrance if you just had a basic fire.
Total darkness deeper in,
Mhm.
and yeah, poor ventilation. It really restricted how much you could use those natural shelters.
It's interesting that the first step wasn't really invention, was it? It was more about adapting.
That's right. The early evidence, like burned bones from swart crayons, maybe 1.5 million years ago.
That's Homo erectus territory, right?
Likely, yes. It suggests they were using naturally occurring fires, lightning strikes, maybe volcanic activity, harnessing it, not making it.
But the real leap, the game changer, was making fire whenever you needed it.
Exactly, moving from just using fire to creating it. And by the Middle Paleolithic, say 400,000 years ago, you see Neanderthals mastering artificial ignition.
How are they doing that? The classic flint on stone.
Flint striking against pyrite, yeah, that seems to be a key method.
Okay, but hang on. Your notes mentioned something else I found fascinating. Manganese dioxide. Why that specific mineral?
Ah, yes, because it's basically a chemical trick. Manganese dioxide significantly lowers the ignition temperature of wood.
By how much?
Hundreds of degrees Celsius. It acts like a catalyst. Makes fire starting much more reliable, especially with slightly damp wood.
Wow. Okay, so that's not just banging rocks together. That's early chemistry. Real resource knowledge.
It's deliberate material science, absolutely. Sophisticated thinking.
So once they nail fire starting, the next problem is using that fire effectively inside those dark caves, right?
Right,
Which leads to actual lighting systems,
precisely. You need portable, manageable light. First up, you have torches.
like the classic image of burning stick.
Pretty much, yeah. Often made of pine wood rich in resin or maybe other wood soaked in fat or oil. They burned brightly.
How brightly?
Could light up an area maybe 6 meters across, but they only lasted maybe 40 minutes or so.
And the downside?
Smoke. Lots of smoke. Fine maybe near a cave mouth or in the open, but terrible for deep exploration or living inside.
Okay, so that leads to the next innovation.
The stone lamp. A much later development, Paleolithic late period. Really simple tech.
What are we talking about? Like an actual lamp?
Just a flattish stone, maybe sandstone, with a natural or carved out depression. You'd put animal fat in there or bone marrow, add a wick maybe made of moss or plant fiber, and light it.
So not super bright then.
No, maybe only as bright as a single candle, but the key things were much less smoke and they could burn for over an hour.
Ah, so endurance and air quality. That makes sense for deeper cave use.
Exactly. That was the technical leap that really solved the habitat expansion problem. Suddenly you could navigate and use deep cave systems safely.
Is there evidence for that deep use?
Oh, yes. The classic example is Brunitel Cave in France. About 176,000 years ago, Neanderthals built these strange rings out of stalagmites.
How far inside?
Over 330 meters from the entrance, in total darkness. You couldn't do that without reliable, low-smoke lighting like lamps.
Wow. It wasn't just caves, right? Fire was key for surviving cold climates, too.
Absolutely critical. Think about moving into Arctic regions. Without controlled fire for warmth and light, permanent habitation would have been impossible.
Okay, so the tech solved darkness, enabled expansion. But let's get to the really big picture stuff.
Yeah.
How did this flickering light change what it meant to be human?
Here's where it gets really interesting. Fire basically invented the community gathering.
How so?
Before reliable fire, your social group kind of dissolved at sunset, right? Everyone hunkers down. Fire extended the usable day. It created this shared time and space after dark.
The first community center.
Exactly. A focal point for storytelling, maybe rituals, planning hunts, passing on knowledge, making tools. The foundations of culture, really, happening around the hearth.
And the engineering didn't stop with just making fire, did it? They got better at managing it, too, that Sukudi site.
Phenomenal. In China, yeah. They found hearth structures where early humans, probably Homo erectus again, were deliberately adding quartz particles to the fire base.
Why quartz?
It seems to act like an insulator and reflects heat back up. Their analysis suggests it improved the thermal efficiency by something like 60%.
60%. And
It made the fuel last longer, extended burn time by maybe 3 times. They were engineering better fireplaces using geological know-how.
that's incredible. Okay, and biologically, the impact was huge there, too.
Transformative. The biggest one, cooking. Controlled fire means cooked food.
Which is easier to digest.
Way easier. And it unlocks more nutrients. This high-quality, energy-dense cooked diet is strongly linked to supporting the massive brain growth we see in human evolution throughout the Pleistocene.
More energy available for the brain because less was needed for digestion.
Precisely. And you can see it in our anatomy. Our guts are much smaller than expected for a primate of our size, only about 62% of the size.
Because cooked food doesn't need such a long, energy-intensive digestive tract.
Right. That saved energy could be redirected, and a lot of it likely went straight to fueling bigger, more complex brains.
So the simple act of controlling a flame didn't just keep the monsters away, it literally helped rewire our bodies and brains towards intelligence, towards complex society.
It's a cascade, really. The domestication of fire wasn't just one invention. It triggered this series of interconnected technical, social, and biological shifts that fundamentally rewrote our evolutionary path.
Amazing.
And it leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? We know many animals have what's called bimodal sleep. They sleep for a bit, wake up for a while in the middle of the night, then sleep again. Artificial light, the ability to be active after dark around a fire, that likely helps shift us towards the single consolidated block of sleep we mostly have today.
Pushing our waking hours together.
Right. So how much of our modern consciousness are long stretches of continuous awareness and thought? How much of that do we ultimately owe to something as simple as a lump of animal fat burning in a hollowed-out stone?